A simple act of kindness pays unexpected dividends. The neon glow of Vega Prime's outskirts painted an eerie twilight scene as Alex Morgan, a human waiter, habitually wiped down the counter of the dismal diner. Business tonight was as slow as usual at the Blue Plate, a greasy spoon catering mostly to non-human industrial laborers. Alex, 32, moved with a practiced efficiency that belied the weariness in his light gray eyes, the only human on the staff, a fact his Vexorian boss Kral never failed to highlight. "Human? More cleaning, less daydreaming!" Kral barked from the kitchen, his blue skin and 4 nostrils flaring with irritation. Alex, having learned the futility of argument over 6 months, silently nodded, scrubbing an imaginary stain until his khaki uniform stretched taut over flexing muscles. A jingle of the door announced a new patron. An elderly alien, swaying precariously, paused at the entrance. His pale blue skin hung loosely, his large eyes scanning the room with a bewildered blankness, his frail form almost swallowed by a tattered brownish cloak. "Sir, can I help you?" Alex asked, approaching the bewildered figure. I'm not sure where," the old alien stammered, his gaze unfocused. "Would you like to sit down?" Alex gently guided him to a window booth. Seeing the alien's confusion when asked about his last meal, "I don't remember." Alex didn't hesitate. He headed to the kitchen, quickly preparing a simple, nourishing broth and soft bread, suitable for most humanoid HFY systems. The old man, lost in thought, was staring out the window when Alex returned. "Here you go, sir, on the house." The alien's trembling hands slowly gripped the spoon, and he began to eat, his voice soft. "Thank you, young man. Your kindness is unexpected." Alex smiled. "No problem. I'm Alex, by the way. I think my name is—" The old alien's face contorted in frustration. "It's okay," Alex soothed. "Take your time." "Morgan!" Kral's bellow shattered the diner's quiet. The few patrons looked up. The Vexorian, his blue skin now mottled with rage, steamed toward them. "What do you think you're doing? This isn't a charity," he hissed, his accent thickening. "You gave away food without authorization." "He's obviously lost and hungry," Alex retorted, standing firm. "I'll pay for it myself." "You think this is about credits?" Kral's voice escalated. "This is about authority. My authority, which you constantly undermine with your human sentimentality." The elderly alien continued eating, seemingly oblivious to the unfolding drama. "Pack your things, Morgan. You're fired." Kral's finality hung in the air, his 4 eyes narrowed to slits. "For helping someone in need?" Alex asked, incredulous. "For disobeying me for the last time?" Kral pointed to the door. "Get out." The diner fell silent. Alex looked at the alien faces, some averted in embarrassment, others indifferent. None intervened. "Fine," Alex clipped, untying his apron and flinging it onto the counter. "I'd rather be unemployed than work for someone who turns away those in need." As Alex turned to leave, a commotion outside drew every eye. A sleek anti-gravity vehicle, its polished surface reflecting the neon, glided to a silent stop, an undeniable symbol of wealth in this part of town. The vehicle's door opened, and a collective gasp filled the diner. A tall, graceful female figure emerged, her pearl-like light blue skin seeming to radiate light. Her silver hair cascaded down her back, a striking contrast to her form-fitting deep violet dress. Flanked by 2 armored guards, she approached the diner, her turquoise eyes scanning with purpose. Her entry seemed to raise the room's temperature. "Grandfather!" Her melodic voice resonated through the stunned silence. The elderly alien looked up from his bowl, his eyes finally recognizing her. "Mina, is that you, child?" The beautiful alien woman rushed to the old man's side, kneeling. "We've been searching everywhere for you. How did you get all the way out here?" "I don't remember," he replied, "but this kind human gave me food." He gestured toward Alex. Mina's turquoise eyes met Alex's gray ones, and for a moment, the world stopped. "You helped my grandfather." "Anyone would have done the same, ma'am," Alex mumbled, suddenly hyper-aware of his worn uniform and day-old stubble. "No," she said, her gaze flicking to a suddenly uncomfortable Kral. "Not anyone." She rose to her full height, now eye-level with Alex. "I am Mina Nix of House Astralis. You have shown kindness to Elder Theronx, patriarch of our house. This debt will not go unpaid. Crawl, his demeanor dramatically shifting, stepped forward. Lady Astralis, what an honor. Had I known the elder was related to your esteemed house? Silence. Mina's soft but commanding voice cut him off. This human has just been terminated for showing compassion to my grandfather. Is this correct? Crawl's blue skin paled to a sickly lavender. There was a misunderstanding. I asked a simple question, Mina pressed. Yes, Crawl admitted reluctantly. Mina turned back to Alex, her expression softening. What is your name? Alex Morgan, ma'am. Alex Morgan, she repeated, tasting the name. I would be honored if you would join us for dinner tomorrow evening at our estate, as a proper thank you for your kindness. Before Alex could reply, she pressed a small, iridescent card into his palm. The address is here. Transportation will be arranged. Her fingers lingered on his for a beat longer than necessary. Until tomorrow, Alex Morgan. With that, she helped her grandfather to his feet, and with the two guards, guided him out. Just before exiting, she paused, looking back at Crawl. This establishment is now blacklisted from all Astralis holdings and partnerships. Good evening. The door closed, leaving the diner in stunned silence. Alex looked down at the card, then at Crawl's ashen face, and a small smile tugged at his lips. Well, he said, pocketing the card, guess I'd better go home and find something nice to wear. Alex's journey into aristocracy. Standing before the mirror in his modest apartment, Alex adjusted the collar of his only formal shirt, a deep navy blue, complementing his gray eyes, reserved for special occasions, though none as intimidating as dining with one of Vega Prime's elite families. You clean up pretty well for a recently unemployed waiter, he quipped to his reflection, attempting to calm his nerves with humor. His freshly shaven jaw and trimmed hair lent him a more polished look, but nothing could disguise the fact that he was a human about to enter the rarefied world of alien aristocracy. The promised transport arrived precisely on schedule. A sleek black hover car emblazoned with the Astralis family crest. The driver, a stoic Vexorian with impeccable posture, opened the door silently. Good evening, Alex offered as he slid into the plush interior. The driver simply nodded, closing the door. As they glided through the city, Alex watched the landscape transform from the industrial grime of the outskirts to the gleaming spires and manicured gardens of the elite district. The Astralis estate, a sprawling mansion of curved architecture that seemed to defy gravity, its pearlescent walls catching the setting sun of Vega Prime, emerged from behind ornate gates. Alex's mouth went dry. What had he gotten himself into? A servant met him at the entrance, guiding him through corridors adorned with artwork from across the galaxy. They reached a grand parlor where Elder Theranx sat comfortably, looking remarkably better than the day before. Ah, the kind human. Theranx's eyes brightened with recognition. Come in, young man. My memory may fail me, but I remember your kindness clearly. I'm glad to see you're doing better, sir, Alex replied, genuinely relieved. Thanks to you, Mina's melodic voice chimed from the doorway. She entered wearing a shimmering gown, the color of a stormy sea, her silver hair intricately styled to accentuate her elegant neck. Welcome to our home, Alex Morgan. Alex bowed slightly, unsure of the proper protocol. Thank you for the invitation, Lady Astralis. Please, call me Mina, she extended, her turquoise eyes holding his gaze a moment longer than necessary, sending an unexpected warmth through his chest. The moment was interrupted by the arrival of another guest, a tall, imposing alien with burnished gold scales and piercing amber eyes. He wore a military uniform adorned with medals and insignia that even Alex, with his limited knowledge of alien hierarchies, recognized as high-ranking. Commander Dorn, Mina acknowledged, her tone cooling noticeably. You're early. I couldn't wait to see you again, Dorn replied smoothly, taking her hand and bringing it to his lips in a gesture that seemed universal across species. His gaze darted to Alex, a swift assessment followed by an immediate dismissal. And who, pray tell, is this individual? This is Alex Morgan, Theron interjected smoothly before Menina could form a reply. The human who offered assistance when I was disoriented, a man defined by honor and compassion. Dorn's countenance tightened almost imperceptibly. How quaint! I wasn't aware we were hosting charitable endeavors this evening. Alex is my esteemed guest, Mina stated with unwavering resolve. His kindness towards my grandfather has earned him a seat at our table. Of course, Dorn conceded, offering a strained smile. How exceedingly fortunate for him. As they transitioned to the dining room, Alex found himself positioned directly opposite Dorn, with Mina presiding at the head of the table and Theron at the foot. A palpable tension permeated the air, as servants presented a continuous procession of exotic dishes. So, human, Dorn began between mouthfuls, what precisely is your occupation, beyond rescuing elderly wanderers, naturally? Until yesterday, I was a waiter, Alex responded candidly. Presently, I'm between opportunities. Dorn's laugh was sharp and cutting. A waiter? How utterly delightful. And now you find yourself dining with the Astralis family. Quite the promotion indeed. Kindness requires neither title nor rank, Commander, Mina interjected, her gaze softening discernibly as it rested upon Alex. In fact, I find it quite refreshing to encounter someone whose value isn't measured by military decorations or political connections. Dorn's scales darkened slightly. Speaking of connections, Mina, have you considered my proposal regarding the trade negotiations with the Terran Alliance? Your family's influence could be immensely advantageous. I am not interested in being a political pawn, Dorn, Mina replied coolly. My grandfather and I have already declined the military's request for our involvement. The human colonies are expanding too rapidly, Dorn pressed. They demand containment, regulation. Alex tensed at the thinly veiled animosity directed towards his species. The Terran Alliance has adhered to all treaty stipulations, he stated carefully. The expansion falls within agreed parameters. Dorn's amber eyes narrowed. You seem remarkably well informed for a waiter. I read, Alex replied simply, and I served many diverse species at the diner. You'd be surprised what insights one gains simply by observing and listening. Indeed, Theron chuckled from the far end of the table. Perhaps that's precisely why you perceived my distress when others did not, young man. Throughout the meal, Alex noticed Mina observing him with growing interest. Each time their eyes met, the connection between them seemed to deepen, a silent understanding forging itself across the vast cultural chasm. As the evening progressed, Dorn's attempts to monopolize Mina's attention became increasingly transparent and desperate. He recounted tales of military triumphs, casually name-dropped influential figures, and repeatedly touched her arm or hand when emphasizing a point. Yet, it was towards Alex that Mina directed her most genuine smiles and her most thoughtful inquiries. She appeared captivated by Earth culture, by his experiences as a human navigating an alien world. Perhaps after dinner, I could escort you to our gardens, Mina suggested to Alex as dessert was served. They possess a particular charm under the moonlight. I would be deeply honored, Alex responded, acutely aware of Dorn's piercing glare. I am certain Alex is fatigued after such an overwhelming evening, Dorn interjected. Besides, we have pressing matters to discuss, Mina. Family matters. You are not family, Commander, Theron reminded him gently but firmly. And my granddaughter is at liberty to choose her own companions for the evening. The elder's words hung in the air, heavy with implication. Dorn's scales flushed dark with either anger or embarrassment. Alex couldn't discern which. As the meal concluded, Mina rose and extended her hand to Alex. Shall we? Taking her delicate blue hand in his, Alex felt a distinct spark of electricity pass between them. Whatever was unfolding here transcended mere gratitude or cultural curiosity. The look in Mina's turquoise eyes confirmed that she felt it too. And as they walked towards the gardens, leaving a fuming Dorn behind, Alex realized that his simple act of kindness had thrust him into a situation far more intricate and potentially far more rewarding than he could have ever imagined. The Astralis Gardens were unlike anything Alex had ever witnessed. Bioluminescent flora cast a soft, ethereal glow across the meandering paths, while gravity-defying water features released droplets suspended in midair like liquid constellations. The twin moons of Vega Prime hung low, bathing the entire landscape in a mesmerizing silver light. Your world is truly magnificent, Alex remarked as they strolled side by side, close enough that their hands occasionally brushed. You speak as though you are not a part of it, Mina observed, her turquoise eyes mirroring the garden's glow. How long have you resided on Vega Prime? 3 years. I arrived seeking adventure. I remained because of... He shrugged. Well, Earth isn't exactly flourishing these days. Yet, humans persist in expanding their colonies. Mina's voice contained no judgment, only earnest curiosity. Your species exhibits remarkable resilience. We're stubborn that way, Alex smiled. When circumstances become challenging, humans only grow tougher. They paused beside a tranquil pool where luminous creatures, resembling jellyfish, pulsed with a gentle light. Mina's hand found his, her touch sending a current of warmth up his arm. Commander Dorn doesn't appear to appreciate that quality in humans, Alex ventured. Mina's expression darkened. Dorn perceives only threats where I envision potential. He has pursued me for years, both politically and personally. I gathered as much from dinner. My grandfather respects you, she said, gently shifting the topic. He claims humans possess a fire within them that our species extinguished generations ago. What do you believe? Alex asked, suddenly acutely aware of their close proximity. I believe, Mina stepped closer, the sweet scent of her skin intoxicating, that I would like to discover that fire for myself. Her lips met his, soft and cool against his human warmth. The kiss deepened, her silver hair like silk between his fingers as he drew her nearer. Their bodies pressed together, the subtle differences in their physiology creating new and exquisite sensations. When they finally broke apart, both were breathing heavily. Mina's pearl blue skin had flushed to a deeper azure, her eyes wide with wonder. "You are so warm," she whispered, her hand resting against his chest. "Is that typical for humans compared to Astralis?" "Yes," Alex smiled, tracing the delicate curve of her jaw. "Does it trouble you?" "Quite the contrary." Her fingers explored the contours of his face with fascination. "It is exhilarating." They continued their exploration of each other, uncovering the nuanced distinctions between their species. Her skin possessed a silken texture that seemed to respond to his touch, warming wherever his fingers trailed. His human musculature captivated her, so distinct from the more fluid physiology of her people. "My quarters are situated in the East Wing," Mina murmured against his ear, her voice husky with desire, far from prying eyes. Alex hesitated, not due to a lack of desire, but from a sudden awareness of their vastly different stations. "Are you certain? I'm just a waiter, and you are—" "I am just Mina," she interrupted, pressing a finger to his lips. "And you are the man who displayed kindness when no one else would. The rest is irrelevant." From a shadowed alcove near the garden entrance, Commander Dorn observed the intimate exchange with mounting fury. His clawed hand crushed the ornamental railing, leaving deep gouges in the precious metal. "This is an abomination," he hissed to his aide, who stood nervously at his side. "A human pawing at an Astralis noble. It cannot stand. Sir, perhaps it would be prudent to exercise caution." Dorn's scales darkened to a dangerous copper hue. "I have invested years cultivating a relationship with House Astralis, years of political maneuvering, of forging alliances. I will not be supplanted by some human charity case." His aide shifted uncomfortably. "What do you propose, Commander?" Dorn's amber eyes narrowed as he watched Alex and Mina vanish into the mansion hand in hand. "Contact intelligence. Inform them we have reason to believe a human spy has infiltrated House Astralis, one with suspicious connections to the Terran military. But, sir, we possess no evidence." "Then fabricate some," Dorn snapped. "Plant communications, falsify records. I care not how it is accomplished. By morning, I want that human in custody." "The Astralis family will object," the aide warned. "They have grown quite fond of him." Dorn's mouth curved into a cruel smile. "Once they believe he has betrayed their trust, they will thank me for exposing him." He straightened his uniform. "And when the dust settles, I will be there to console Mina in her disappointment, to remind her that only her own kind are truly worthy of her trust." As dawn broke over the Astralis estate, Alex awoke to the unfamiliar luxury of silk sheets and the very familiar warmth of Mina curled against him. The night had been a revelation of passion and discovery, their bodies finding harmony despite their differences. He gazed at her sleeping form, marveling at how the rising sun transformed her pearl blue skin to opalescent radiance. Her silver hair spilled across the pillow like liquid moonlight. In slumber, she appeared serene and unburdened by the political complexities that characterized her waking hours. Alex carefully extricated himself from the bed, not wishing to disturb her. He moved to the window, taking in the panoramic view of the estate and the city beyond. For a brief moment, he allowed himself to envision a future here with her. It seemed impossible, yet, after last night, anything felt possible. The bedroom door burst open without warning. Armed security forces, clad in the distinctive uniforms of Vega Prime's intelligence division, swarmed into the room. Mina bolted upright, clutching the sheets to her chest, her expression shifting from confusion to outrage. "What is the meaning of this?" she demanded. The lead officer, a stern-faced Vexorian, ignored her, focusing instead on Alex. "Alexander Morgan, you're under arrest for espionage against the Vegan Confederation and for unlawfully infiltrating a noble house." Alex recoiled, hands raised defensively. "There's been a profound mistake." "No error whatsoever," a smooth voice interjected as Dorn entered, his amber eyes glinting with a predatory triumph. "We possess irrefutable evidence of your communications with Terran military intelligence." He then turned to Mina, adopting a facade of practiced concern. "I regret that you had to discover this under such circumstances, my dear. It appears your guest exploited your grandfather's delicate health to gain access to your family's vital political network." Mina's turquoise eyes flickered between Dorn and Alex, her gaze a kaleidoscope of confusion and burgeoning hurt. "Mina, it's a fabrication, I swear," Alex pleaded desperately as officers moved in to seize him. "You must believe me. This is a setup." But an insurmountable cloud of doubt had already settled in her eyes. As they forcibly removed him, the last image Alex retained was Commander Dorn's hand settling possessively upon Mina's shoulder. The detention cell was a stark utilitarian box, a metal bench, a sanitation unit, and shimmering force field barriers humming with constrained energy. Alex restlessly paced the confined space, his mind a whirlwind of recent events. A single act of kindness in a diner had inexplicably led to an accusation of espionage. The force field shimmered, then receded, admitting a guard with a food tray. Alex recognized him instantly. Nix, one of the servers from the Blue Plate Diner. "You have 10 minutes to consume your meal," Nix intoned loudly, ensuring the surveillance systems registered his words. Then, his voice dropping to a near whisper, he added, "Elder Theron dispatch me. Be prepared at the third shift change." Before Alex could utter a reply, Nix was gone, the force field instantly resealing. Alex scrutinized the tray, discovering a tiny data chip artfully concealed beneath the unappetizing fare. Hope, that most intrinsically human of emotions, surged through him with potent force. Meanwhile, in the tranquil west wing of the Astralis estate, Elder Theron sat ensconced in his study, a sanctuary brimming with ancient texts and illuminated modern data screens. Despite his occasional lapses in memory, the Elder's mind, when fully engaged, was a sharp, formidable instrument. His current singular focus, securing the release of the human who had once shown him such unexpected kindness. "Grandfather?" Mina's voice, thick with concern, emanated from the doorway. Her eyes were red-rimmed, and her silver hair appeared hastily gathered. "What exactly are you doing?" "Research, my dear," Theron replied, gesturing towards the screens displaying Commander Dorn's detailed service record. "Were you aware that our esteemed commander has been implicated in 3 separate incidents where human diplomats were falsely accused of espionage? All 3 were eventually exonerated, but not before inflicting significant damage upon human-Vegan relations." Mina moved closer, her turquoise eyes scanning the intricate information. "Why would he perpetrate such acts?" "Power, child," Theron explained. "The military faction he represents harbors a deep-seated fear of human expansion. They firmly believe that by engineering a sufficient number of these incidents, they can justify the imposition of stricter regulations concerning human activities within our sector." Theron's gnarled fingers tapped a command, calling forth additional files. "And on a more personal note, he desires you. He perceives Alex as an inconvenient impediment." "I've been a complete fool," Mina whispered, collapsing into a nearby chair. "I allowed doubt to cloud my judgment. I should have placed my trust in my instincts regarding Alex. The heart often discerns truths that the mind cannot, Theron said gently. And speaking of discernment, he continued, bringing up security footage from the diner where he first encountered Alex. I instructed our security team to retrieve this. Observe. The footage vividly depicted Alex's interaction with Theron, an undeniable kindness radiating from his every action. It then continued through his tense confrontation with Krall and Mayana's subsequent arrival. Now, witness this, Theron urged, switching to a different camera angle revealing the diner's exterior. Commander Dorn's vehicle was indisputably parked across the street. The commander himself was observing the entire unfolding scene from a discreet distance. He was there? Mina's voice rose in stunned disbelief. He knew about Alex even before the dinner. It appears our commander has been monitoring your activities with greater intensity than we ever surmised, Theron observed grimly. I believe he seized an opportune moment when I wandered off, and Alex graciously assisted me. This entire scheme has been meticulously planned from its inception. Mina rose from her chair, her features hardening with resolute determination. We must extract Alex from detention, immediately. Already in motion, Theron assured her, a sly smile, belying his age, playing on his lips. I may be advanced in years, but I still possess influential connections. I have arranged a little surprise for our ambitious commander. Back in the detention center, Alex was jolted awake by the shrill blare of alarms. The force field enclosing his cell flickered erratically before vanishing entirely. Nix materialized in the doorway, thrusting a guard's uniform into his hands. "Don this quickly," the alien urged. The security systems are compromised for precisely 3 minutes. Elder Theron's doing. Alex swiftly changed, his heart hammering against his ribs. Where am I to go? There's a service exit on level 3. A transport awaits. Nix pressed a small device into his palm. This will guide your path. The Elder instructs me to convey that evidence of your innocence is being meticulously assembled, but you must remain concealed until it is unequivocally secured. They moved with practiced stealth through the labyrinthine corridors, bypassing confused guards who were frantically responding to a cascade of false alarms echoing throughout the facility. At a critical junction, Nix indicated to the left. That way. I must return to my post before my absence is noted. He gripped Alex's arm firmly. The Elder places his faith in you, and so do others who were present at the diner that fateful night. We have witnessed the true nature of humans. Your kindness is a profound strength, not a vulnerability. With a silent nod of gratitude, Alex continued alone, following the insistent guidance of the device through a maze of maintenance passages. He emerged into a cavernous loading bay where a small cargo transport idled, its engine purring softly. The pilot, a cloaked figure, gestured for him to hasten. As Alex clambered aboard, the figure pushed back their hood, revealing Mina's striking features. You, Alex exhaled in surprise. Did you truly believe I would entrust your rescue to anyone else? She offered a strained smile, tension etched into her face. My grandfather has been intensely engaged in exposing Dorn's nefarious schemes. It appears the commander possesses a sordid history of fabricating evidence against humans. As the transport ascended, Mina expertly maneuvered it into a discreet maintenance lane, skillfully circumventing the main traffic arteries where detection might be imminent. I deeply regret ever doubting you, she confessed, her gaze fixed on the controls. When they burst in, with Dorn directly behind them, displaying those communications. You had every justifiable reason for your questions, Alex responded, reaching for her hand. We are practically strangers. Her cool fingers interlaced with his, a comforting contrast to his human warmth. That isn't entirely accurate. What we shared last night, a deeper blue flush suffused her cheeks. In my culture, such intimacy forges a profound bond. I should have placed my trust in that. The transport swerved abruptly as a security vehicle materialized directly in their trajectory. Mina's piloting prowess was undeniable, as she expertly threaded their craft into a narrow passage between towering buildings, the small vessel barely squeezing through. Where are we heading? Alex inquired, bracing himself as they executed another sharp turn. Somewhere Dorn would never conceive of looking, Mina replied, a mischievous glint in her eye. The old industrial district. My family owns an abandoned processing facility there. It has been largely forgotten by most, but my grandfather maintained it as a crucial safe house. As they approached the district, the gleaming spires of the elite sector receded, replaced by utilitarian structures, their surfaces dulled by years of industrial residue. Mina guided the transport to an unassuming